Good evening, viewers. Welcome to Premier Sport Fan Sports Center, your number one favorite sport channel on YouTube and Facebook. And it's the UEFA Champions League final, the 2024-2025 season, the last game of the season, the UEFA Champions League final. The match is taking place at the Allianz Arena in Germany. It's Paris Saint-Germain taking on Inter Milan, and for the fifth time in the history of UEFA Champions League, the city of Munich will be hosting the UEFA Champions League final. And out of this fourth time they've played there, we've seen a new winner. Will PSG be doing the same thing tonight, making it the fifth team to win the UEFA Champions League? But Inter Milan stood in their way. And let's quickly look at the previous their previous meetings in the both teams, talking about Paris Saint-Germain and Inter Milan. Both teams have met about five different times, but they've never met in the UEFA Champions League, and it has always been friendly matches. And if you look at the friendly matches they've played, both teams, the last time they played, it was a club friendly, and Inter Milan won that one by 2-1. Same thing, Inter won the one before that one, and they also met at the ICC games where PSG defeated them by 2-1. But in the other remaining two friendlies, PSG also edged them by a lone goal in those games. And tonight, it will be a very different game because PSG will be looking to win the Champions League for the very first time in their history. They've never won it before. They've been at the final about trying to remember now. I think the year 2020. The year 20. Is it 2013? The year Bayern Munich actually won in it, defeating Paris Saint-Germain in the final. So let's see if PSG will be able to do it. But Inter, they've won it before, and they will be looking to win it again. Inter, let's quickly go through the lineup for you from both teams. In goal, we have Donnarumma for PSG, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho, Mendes completing the back four, and the three midfielder, João Neves, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz completed the midfield, while Doué, Dembele, and Kvaratskhelia starting up front for PSG, who are playing a 4-4-3 formation. Why for Inter Milan are playing a 3-5-2 formation. In goal is Juan Sommer, Pavard, Acerbi, and Bastoni play the three men at the back, while Di Marco, Mkhitaryan, Çalhanoğlu, Barella, and Dumfries are the men in the midfield there, while the two lone player up front is Lautaro Martinez, the captain, and Marcus Thuram. And we are already on the way, and with PSG playing from right to left, and Inter Milan playing from left to right. And here comes PSG now in possession with Hakimi. Couldn't find Doué there, and but still with Hakimi, the Morocco international. Still PSG dominating the early stages of this game now with Nuno Mendes, who finds Kvaratskhelia there. But back to Nuno Mendes. Here comes PSG now with Ousmane Dembele. Back to Hakimi. Now finds Marquinhos. Still with Inter Milan, who finds Pacho. PSG rather, who finds Pacho to the captain rather. Marquinhos finds Hakimi finds Doué now, try to beat the Inter Milan player, but Di Marco stood his ground there and block it. But still with PSG now trying to find Dembele, but caught out there by Nico Barella. Now with Çalhanoğlu, but lose possession to Inter PSG inside the edge of the box there, caught back there, but cleared out by Inter Milan from Acerbi there, who make that clear. And there's an Inter Milan player on the dove there. PSG looking like a team on fire. Doué there brushing up what's his name again now, the left back, talking about Di Marco there, but the referee have blamed for a foul there, and it will be a free kick in favor of Inter Milan. So Bastoni will send this one into the half of PSG, headed out there by Marcus Thuram. Back to Johan Sommer. We send a long one there, but send it out for it to be a throw-in to Inter Milan. To PSG rather. Quickly taken there by Hakimi. We send it back to the captain Marquinhos. So it's Nuno Mendes on the ball now. Back to Pacho. Finds Fabian Ruiz now. So it's PSG dominating possession this early stages of the game. Hakimi on the ball finds now lost possession to Inter Milan, who tried to break there, and it's been broke down there, and the referee says that should be a free kick and a foul committed by Hakimi there, Ashraf Hakimi, the Moroccan international. And Inter Milan will restart play with Eric Mkhitaryan quickly taking that one, but send it back to Acerbi, who finds Pavard playing as the third defender there. Now Demarco on the ball, send it back to Bastoni rather. Here comes Akan Canalogu, tries to find Lautaro Martinez, but PSG will clear that one and send it to Donnarumma, the Italian. Send it straight back into the midfield, but Acerbi will gather that one and send it to Johan Sommer. Yoma finds it, send it long one, trying to find Marcus Thuram. You can see the Inter Milan manager here talking about Inzaghi there. So you could see both teams, their fans, jubilating, going wild there. So here comes PSG now, trying to maintain the tempo of the game. Hakimi on the ball now, finds Doué now, one-on-one with send it into the midfield to Fabian Ruiz. We're trying to find Doué now, but Bastoni with him one-on-one and dispossess him of the ball. The referee said no foul, and the whistle finally got, and the referee said that's a free kick there. So it's PSG and Fabian Ruiz standing on the ball. Bastoni claiming that shouldn't have been a foul there. Initially, the linesman didn't raise his flag, but the referee, picking that one up there. So Vitinha on the ball there, try to whip in, and he sent a cross into the box there, headed out there by the Inter Milan player, but still on the box there. And I see PSG inside the S18, send another cross into the box, but that will go out for a goal kick there. Marquinhos couldn't get onto the end of that one there. It's PSG who have completely dominated this game so far in these early stages. So play resume back with Johan Sommer taking a short one. They're trying to beat up from the back. Bastoni finds but give it straight away to PSG, who have been in total control of this game so far in this game, but we've not seen much from Ousmane Dembele in this game. Fabian Ruiz finds Doué there, Hakimi rather. Take it back to the captain Marquinhos. Nuno Mendes finds Pacho to João Neves. Back to the captain Marquinhos. So here comes Due one-on-one with Dimarco. Tried to beat him and set up his teammate there, but couldn't find it. And he's still with João Neves. Tried to beat 1-2 players there, but send it back to Hakimi, who finds Pacho now to Nuno Mendes. Try to find Due again. They're inside the box and they send a cross there, but blocked there again and cleared out by Inter Milan. And Pacho winning back possession for Inter Milan. PSG have completely dominated this game so far. We've seen 9 minutes of football played already, but PSG are leading in terms of possession with the 97 possession played right now. And here comes PSG playing inside the half of Inter Milan. Kvaratskhelia take a shot there. Due rather, but João Sommer, we gather that one neatly for Inter Milan. He drop it quickly to Bastoni. Send it to Dimarco. Dimarco will send a long one now. Try to find the captain there, talking about Lautaro Martinez. And here comes Inter Milan. Their first real attack in this game. Find Marcus Thuram, who finds Dumfries, and he sent it cross into the box there, but headed out there by Hakimi. And it's now PSG back to the Italian goalkeeper Donnarumma now, still on the ball. Send a long one, trying to find Due there, but dispossessed there. And Chanalogo, who finds Mkhitaryan now, which is Inter Milan now for the first time, stringing 2-3 passes in this game. Back to Bastoni. Chanalogo. Send it back to João Sommer, who finds Acerbi. Try to send a long one there, but nobody there. Donnarumma will gather that one now. Send it to Marquinhos, the captain there. João Neves. Still with PSG now. Send it to Vitinha. Back to Hakimi, who finds Due there. And he has 2 players to beat now. Try to cut inside the box there. And he sent a shot there, but straight into the hands of João Sommer. That was a shot from Dembele, rather. The first time we will be seeing it, Dembele making any meaningful impact in this game. So Inter Milan try to beat up from the back, but give the ball straight away to PSG, who have completely dominated the first 10 minutes of this game now. And we are heading into the 12th minute of this game so far. And here comes Kvaratskhelia attacking from the left-hand side of attack for PSG, sending it to the box there, but couldn't get onto the one. He tried to send, and that's a goal. Achraf Hakimi open scoring for PSG. It's PSG who have taken the lead. A well-deserved lead for PSG. Completely dominated Inter Milan. It's a goal by Achraf Hakimi, the Moroccan international, in the 12th minute. What a goal from Paris Saint-Germain there. Achraf Hakimi tapping in that one there to give PSG the lead inside the 12th minute. And you could see the Inter Milan manager talking about Inzaghi not happy with the defense there. That's an easy goal for me. Too easy. Look at the defending there. That was too easy. Due giving the pass back to Hakimi, who just tapping that one. That was too easy. And you could see the frustration from the Inter Milan manager there. Not happy with the way the team, set up the defense there. And I think PSG have gotten the lead. They've put Achraf Hakimi, the Moroccan international, have given PSG the lead. And Could it be happening to you earlier on? This is the fifth time the Allianz Arena will be hosting the Champions League finals, and the last four editions, the teams that have not won it before, they've gone ahead to win it. And we all know PSG, they've never won Champions League, and right now they are leading. Definitely, what they said about Allianz Arena is coming to pass. They are the Muchin in Germany there. So let's see if Inter Milan will be able to come back in this game. But so far, PSG have completely dominated this game, and they are back in possession now with Hakimi, who finds Dembele but couldn't beat Cherby there, and the ball will roll out for a throwing, a free kick rather, to Inter Milan. So free kick to Inter Milan. And you could see the PSG manager Luis Enrique wanting more from his player, quickly taking out, send it to Juan Sommer. Sommer will send it to Pavard, who finds Chanalogu but couldn't clear that now. Send it out for a true. Okay, the referee said that should be a throw-in rather, and it will be in favor of Inter Milan. And you could see the Inter Milan manager talking about Inzaghi there, looking, couldn't believe what he's seeing at the moment, because Paris Saint-Germain have completely dominated them in this game. And trying to Inter Milan, Dumfries will send a long one, but Marcus Thuram there standing on that one, finds the captain Lautaro Martinez, but dispossessed now. PSG won back possession, send it straight back to the goalkeeper Donnarumma, who takes a long one to find Dembele outfield, and he headed it down, but Bastoni we gathered that one for Inter Milan. So it's still Inter Milan now with possession now. I try to build up from that setback they've suffered now. Finds Pavard, send it to Dumfries, but caught out there for a throw-in, and Dumfries will pick that one up now. So trying quickly taking, send it back to Juan Sommer, who finds Bastoni, cutting feet there. But the PSG player will block down out for a throw-in. So it will be a throw-in to Inter Milan right now. We've seen quarter of an hour played right now, and that is Inter Milan, who have taken the lead and are leading in all aspects of the game, including ball possession. Who have PSG rather, they've enjoyed 60% of possession in this game, had 4 total shots and 3 shots on target, while PSG Inter Milan are yet to register any shot on target, and in fact they've yet to register any shot at all in this game. But here comes Inter Milan are trying to see if they can get the goal for their own goal, but PSG standing in their way there. But send it straight down to Juan Sommer. Finds the Marco sent a long one into the field, but headed back there by PSG, and PSG are back in possession now, trying to counter from with Kvaratskhelia inside the box there. Sent a shot there, but that was too high, and it will be a goal kick to Inter Milan. Inter Milan are about 2 seasons ago lost the final of the Champions League to PSG, to Manchester City. I remember Manchester City defeating them by a long goal. Manchester City winning their first trophy, and it was against Inter Milan. And here comes Inter Milan again now with PSG also be getting their own first trophy in this game. But there's a player down for PSG, and it will be Nuno Mendes. Nuno Mendes down there from that challenge from Ashkraf. From Ashkraf, from Dumfries rather. So you could see the combination of Hakimi and Due there, combining to. So play resume with free kick quickly taken. Donnarumma sending a long one to finding Fabian Ruiz, but Inter Milan headed down back, but PSG still back in possession, but in their own half there now. And the referee whistle for a free kick there. Foul on Nuno Mendes again, who looks like he's in pain. But here comes Inter Milan now. And Dumfries on the board, about to take a try, and is about to send a long one into the box there. To spot about 4 yellow jersey Inter Milan players inside the box there. Let's see. And he sent a long one into the box there, but headed down there. And still with Inter Milan, try to see if they can make something out from this, but cleared out by PSG there. And PSG will try to counter Inter Milan now. Ousmane Dembele running down, attacking from the left hand side there. And that's the second goal. And it's in PSG 2, Inter Milan 0. Due getting the second goal for PSG rather. Turning defense into attack and getting the second goal. It's PSG 2, Inter Milan 0. And what again we are witnessing? Due, who provided the first goal for Inter Milan, and he has gotten the second. And I think the ball have actually gone out. Let's see VAR will do something about that. But look at that, beautiful movement from PSG. And another, nobody to mark him. And but I think VAR will be checking on this one, because it looks like the ball actually went out there. And joining me in the studio is Doc. Doc, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Paulo. This is, in fact, a night of traffic all over the state of Lagos, coming from the islands to the mainland on the long bridges. It looks like everybody just wanted to get back in time to go and watch the final of the Champions League for 2024-2025 season, to witness how heroic PSG may be at this point in time, or how Inter may snatch it from them, and everybody has just been rushing. The roads are so busy, and that's what kept me away from now. So I apologize greatly for coming in late. Viewers, ladies and gentlemen, we're on for a wonderful cracker. We still have, as it is, we still have about 70 good minutes of football to watch tonight. And that is the encounter between Inter Milan and PSG, Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain, we know, has never won this trophy in their lifetime. In their existence of about 80, 90 years of existence, they never lifted this trophy. PSG, Inter Milan, still won this trophy in 2010 under the coaching of Jose Mourinho, the wizardry coach. And tonight, Inter will want to do it again, and PSG will try to take it from them and own it for the first time. I'm sure the Al Nafil, Al Khalifa, all the Emirates people want to take this trophy back to the Arabia. And that's just the position of it, and I'm so excited to see that the scoreline is already 2 goals. Paulo, what exactly has happened? How did they get these 2 goals?
Well, PSG, they've been very, very good in this game, dominating Inter Milan completely. In fact, the first 10 minutes before they got the goal, it was all Paris Saint-Germain, and you could see that the goals will definitely come, and it came. And the first goal to me was a bit, bad defending from Inter Milan. There was nobody marking Hakimi, just tapping down, and you could see the second goal also. Just PSG turning defense into attack, and almost the same thing. Due there converting down, and I think at this stage, with what we've witnessed, it's safe to say that PSG are running away with the trophy right now.
Well, running away may be difficult to say at 20 minutes of the game with only 2 goals. Remember, Barcelona and Inter Milan, It was 3-1 at a time, and the catch-up was there. And again, Inter Barca, the game cracker ended 3-3, 4-3. So this Inter side, we know they are very good at recovery. So we can't just write them off after 2 goals. Don't you think?
Yeah, but if you look at the last 3-4 Champions League finals, you see that the team that gets the first goal always go ahead to win the game. And if history is to continue, the record says that whenever the Champions League is being played at the Allianz Arena out there in Germany,
Yes.
it's always the first timer. The team that have never won it. That usually, and look at it now, PSG already 2 goals up. And if you look at the last 3-4 Champions League, I can't remember the last time a team take a 2 goals lead in the first. It's always 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. But right now, first under the first 30 minutes, PSG are already cruising. And with the way Inter Milan are playing, if they are to get anything in this game, they will need a big miracle to happen for them.
Wow. So even if you look at the statistics below, I can't agree less with you. Looking at the statistics, we have shots on target presently. 4 shots from Paris Saint-Germain, while guess what? Inter 0.
Yeah, and
totally no shots at goal.
Yeah, they've been very, very poor. Been very, very shambolic when it comes to going forward. They've not, in fact, you could see the manager on the touchline there looking confused because they've not been able to move forward. Whenever they try to move forward, there's always PSG player there talking about the midfield through of Vitinha, Neves, and Fabian Ruiz. Making sure that Inter Milan couldn't take control.
And the attack again. Dembele on the attack. He releases the ball to Hakimi now. Hakimi will give it back to Dembele. Dembele will locate Fabian Ruiz, and then he'll send the ball to Marquinhos. Marquinhos sends it up front, and then the ball goes on to Mendes. Mendes will give it to the winger. I think that's Bacola on the other side.
That's Kvaratskhelia there.
Okay, Kvaratskhelia is starting today. Yeah. Okay. So Kvaratskhelia is right there. Just move the ball. Fabian Ruiz will give it back to Hakimi. Hakimi will send it back to Dembele. What's Dembele doing so deep? Anyway, so the statistics here are still showing that Inter Milan had 1 shot so far, has had 1 shot off target, while Paris Saint-Germain has had 2 shots off target. Possession, wow, 41% for Inter Milan, 59% for PSG. This is total dominance. And then PSG just took a shot, a wicked deflected shot from Fabian Ruiz, which was saved by the goalkeeper right there. The wonderful summer goalkeeper that kept Barcelona away from getting to the final. I guess he hasn't been able to solve the problem of Dembele and the screw today. And then looking at the corner kicks taken, Inter Milan has had 1 corner kick, while PSG are yet to get 1 corner kick. And the fouls committed, PSG has committed 5 fouls against 1 from PSG. Throw-ins, 6 to PSG, 6 to Inter Milan, while 5 are credited to PSG. And crosses, 2 crosses came for PSG, while only 1 came for Inter Milan. Goalkeeper saves. We had 3 goalkeeper saves from Somers defending the goal for Inter Milan, as against 0 from the PSG side. Definitely the pressure has been on this side of the field. And the number of goal kicks taken had been 2 from Inter Milan and 1 from PSG. Apart from this goal line and these statistics, is there any other thing that you think that Inter Milan should have done to avert this kind of situation?
Well, I think probably if you look at how they've set up, 3 at the back, 5 in the midfield, trying to block both wings, because we know the PSG plays using the wing, more especially with the likes of Doué and Kvaratskhelia. And to me, I think they gave a lot of respect to PSG, giving them the whole ball, try. And we know how Inter Milan tried to play. We saw how they played against Barcelona, giving you all possession and try to see if they can eat you on the break,
Exactly.
But so far it hasn't worked. And I think it's high time the manager have to, start changing the formation, or probably changing personnel, so that the game will be balanced.
Personnel at 30 minutes, 20 something minutes of the game, isn't that too early?
I don't think it's too early, because looking at the way they're playing now, PSG looks like whenever they attack Inter Milan, they will get another goal. though the second goal was there was a deflection on it that helped PSG there, but that was still a goal because look at PSG. They've had total 7 total shots in this game, and out of that total 7 shots, they've had 5 shots on target. It means they mean business, and I think Inter Milan needs to probably play 5 at the back at this moment instead of playing 3. Then allowing playing 3 in the midfield instead of trying to choke the midfield. Despite playing 5 people in the midfield, the PSG team are still dominating them. So they need to start looking onto their bench or probably making changes to the lineup rather.
Yeah, but now if you look critically at what the coach of Inter, the experienced coach, Luis Simeone Inzaghi,
yeah.
The veteran, the Italian veteran, what he arranged here is to make sure that PSG doesn't move or dominate the midfield. Putting in Dumfries, Barella, Hakan, Mkhitaryan, and DiMarco all in the midfield to flood the midfield, and leaving only Alessandro Bastoni, Franco Acerbi, Benjamin Pavard in the back line, and then putting Marcus Thuram and Lautaro Martinez in front. That should be a potent force, really. But looking at the counter arrangement of Luis Enrique for PSG, you can actually see how they've not been able to move much because they have Marquinhos in the central back as well as William Pacho pairing with him. Nuno Mendes is not as mobile as Ashraf Hakimi in this game. So with Hakimi mobile in the midfield, you actually start from the position of a defender, but he plays more in the midfield. So the midfield is actually loaded with Hakimi, Joao Neves, Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, and Dembele, who has been playing very, very deep from the midfield since. That's another chance. Oh, okay, that was deflected off for a corner kick by Dumfries to PSG. So Dembele has been playing a lot deep into this game. He's been trying as much as possible to cover the grounds in the midfield, create the play, start the goal moves, and it has been paying off because with all those movements, I think the Italians are confused right now.
Yeah, and you could see that the setup of Inter Milan, PSG rather, they are playing a false nine. You see Dembele dropping back into the midfield,
Exactly.
and Doué also, popping up on the other side of the attack. Because if you look at the first goal, he actually, made that assist from the other side of the attack there, because he's supposed to be the one playing the number 7 for PSG, but we saw him, dropping from the 11 to drop that pass for Hakimi. Wow. So I think, despite how Inter Milan tried to, block the midfield, but the PSG players, they've completely overwhelmed the Inter Milan midfield, and they are very good when it comes to keeping up possession. When you have the likes of Vitinha, Neves, and Fabian Ruiz, they are very, very good when it comes to keeping up.
Very good and very mobile.
Talking about Vitinha and Neves, they don't lose possession anyhow, so they know how to keep the ball even in the when under pressure, and that is what has really helped them there. And for Inter Milan, I think they should just switch formation, because when you are playing a 2-man up front, and at the end of the day you are playing 3 in the midfield, and plus the 2 fullback, and there's nobody to help the other guys in the middle of the park there now. When you have 2 players, but if Inter Milan needs to at least withdraw one of those players up front there, to me, because I've not seen anything from both Lautaro Martinez and Marcus Thuram. Then bring in, if they have another winger, or probably switch to a 4-3-3 formation or play a 4-4-2 formation, so that it will be balanced, and it will now be probably a man-to-man instead of you trying to choke the midfield, and it's not working for them.
And here comes Dembele on the right flank. He gives the ball back to Vitinha, who gives him back the ball. Dembele will run into the 18, plays a tricky shot, which was blocked and deflected by DiMarco for a corner kick to PSG right at the nick of the 24th minute. This is the 34th minute of the game, and PSG is still attacking so fiercely. This is another corner kick PSG is taking within the last 2 minutes. They're just attacking from everywhere. PSG is hungry for this, and they're not going to lose the grip. Let me ask you a personal question, Paul. Personally, how do you feel with PSG taking this most coveted European, possibly the most coveted after the World Cup in the world of football? How do you feel if PSG should get it today?
Well, to be honest, I was actually rooting for Inter Milan to win it, but at the same time feeling pity for PSG because they've been in the final. We could remember how they poured in money into the club to make sure they get this same trophy. They brought on Lionel Messi at a point, one of the best, probably the best player in the world, to help them achieve it. They couldn't do that. They had the likes of Neymar, also Kylian Mbappe. Also, they spent a lot. They were in the final and they lost to, I think, Bayern Munich that year. And since then they've been trying, and seeing the way they've been playing. To be honest, they are one of the best team in Europe this season. No, you can't take it away from them. Though they struggled in the group stages of the game, they couldn't make it qualify automatically. But after the group stages, they get themselves together, and they got a 11 player, going for them. And those 11 players, they are the backbone of this team. That's the lineup. Looking at this lineup, they've been the same setup they've been using all through the group stages up till now into the final, except from the return leg in the that was in the semi-final when they only benched Dembele due to precaution, due to injury. But after that, there is always this same 11 player, and they've been very used to each other. They know what they want, and you could see. And so far, they are leaving 2-0. But if they go ahead and win it, I'll be very happy for them. At least a team that has never won it has won it. But it will be a very painful one for Inter Milan, a team that was also in the final about 2 seasons ago, defeated Manchester City. Took the trophy from them by a lone goal there, and they are back in it again. And this time around, I think
it looks like they're getting defeated by another national. The French want to take it away.
Yeah, and you could also remember Manchester City won their first Champions League against this Inter Milan.
Against Inter Milan.
PSG is about to do it. And with the way PSG are playing, they look like a team that will still get more goals in this game.
Absolutely, the way they've been playing, the statistics. But as much as they've been playing so well, they look so good. For 90 minutes, I'm not going to write Inter Milan off with 2-goal margin. Because once they score a goal now, it is game on. And we know from their antecedents that they are a resilient team. They will keep on trying. They'll keep on fighting. That was almost a goal, except for the last stage touch by the defender, Pacho there, who sends the ball away into touch for a corner kick to Paris Saint-Germain, to Inter Milan, in the dangerous position here against PSG. So Inter Milan will take the corner kick. 2 players are standing on it, and right now they wait on the referee, and the ball comes into the penalty area, and a header comes. Oh no, he just went a little bit off. Marcus Thuram went all the way. He leaped so high, higher than all the players, but just nipped it a little bit margin, just about 2 or 3 inches from the goal mouth.
Yeah, that was very close. Yeah, that could have
very
been
close.
At least,
that could have been a goal, and it will be game on.
Yeah, and I think this area PSG, Inter Milan should be taking advantages of, because we know Inter Milan, they are also very good in the air. They have top players that can do that. We saw that against Barcelona in the first leg. I think they scored from 2 area ball set pieces there, and PSG they are a team that concede a lot when it comes to set picks. Also, I think Inter Milan should try and exploit that area. Try and load those balls into the box and see if their strikers could get onto down. Go back for. Inter Milan in this first half will do them a lot of good, at least to reduce the deficit there. And we know what goals does to a team. Once a team get a goal, once a team is down, they get a goal, the motivation comes.
I'm going to ask you another question here for your own opinion, really. How do you think Inter Milan is going to cope with this? If they lost this match, they lost the league at the last day against Napoli. You saw how that played out. It was just 2 points in between them, and they just lost it. I think the second to the last day, where they should have won.
That was the last day. Yeah, second to the last.
They should have got a point, but they had a draw.
Yeah.
Which actually, cut 2 points off them, and they just lost the league narrowly to Napoli, and they're still trying to, come back from that pain. And they didn't win the polka. The FB polka was not won by them. In other words, they're going to be trophyless if they don't get anything from this year.
Yeah.
So put yourself into the shoes of Inter Milan, the players, the fans, and the boardroom. How's that going to be?
Well, I said earlier I was rooting for Inter Milan because I was feeling pity for them. They've lost everything this season. They lost the Coppa Italia, lost the Super Coppa Italia also. And they were at a point. They had advantage in the lead going into the match day 37 in the lead. If they had won that game against Lazio, they could have won the lead because they won the last match. They surrendered their lead in the 9 minutes to against Lazio, and the game ended 2-2. That was how.
This is a dangerous one against PSG. But the defenders have recovered. Marquinhos will take the ball, give it to Hakimi. Hakimi will look for Dembele. No, will look for number 14.
Yeah,
that was Due.
Yeah.
Due will lose the ball to Inter Milan. Inter will attack again. Thuram will send it up to the wings, and it will be thrown into the 18-yard. A dangerous one, but oh no, it's still tussle is going on there. And the Inter Milan guy comes away with the ball. Another cross will come into the 18. Who connects? PSG will connect, sends the ball out. They send the ball out, and the game continues. And PSG will send the ball into a safe position to Due, and he's taking possession of the ball, gives it to Vitinha, and then sends it to Fabian Ruiz, and the ball comes to Dembele right now. Dembele will send it up north, and who runs with the ball? Well, PSG will attack from the left flank, and chance comes. So Dembele, what will he do? Take a shot? No, he decides to pass. Sends it to Due. Due will leave it for Fabian Ruiz. Ruiz will drop it for Hakimi. Hakimi will take it back, and back to Fabian. Fabian will now give it to Due, and the tiki-taka is going on around here. They're just tossing around the ball, and they'll send it back to the midfield. Vitinha will get the ball, and they will run with the ball, gives it to Dembele. Dembele will give it back to Vitinha. Vitinha will turn around and return the ball to the midfield, and the ball comes back to Hakimi right now. Hakimi will look for who to give it to. Sends it to Due, and Due will give it back to Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz rather, and Fabian Ruiz will look for Due again, and they keep passing the ball around, just trying to keep possession in the midfield. And Marquinhos will play libero, moving forward into the dangerous position for Inter Milan, and Due will send it back again, and Marquinhos will get the ball in the half of Inter Milan and sends a longish one which was off target to Dembele, and the ball goes into touch for a throw-in to Inter Milan in the half of Inter Milan. So as it is, as we're saying, how would you feel for Inter?
Well, like I said earlier, I'm feeling for them because they lost.
You said you had pity on them.
Yeah, at least
but
because
I want you to put yourself into the shoes of management here, boardroom. Put yourself into the shoes of the technical coaches. What would you report, and what would you likely want to change?
Well, I think to me, I still believe the board needs to still allow the manager, talking about Inzaghi, to continue because they have done a fantastic job with Inter Milan.
But no trophy,
no trophy this season. But last season, he won trophy for them. So I don't think as a result of that, they should be, should let him go. But they just needs to, him, the manager, needs to, look for other means, because we know PSG, Inter Milan, they are a team that pack the bus and try to attack you, and you could see that teams are beginning to find them out. So it's always very difficult, when you have only one pattern of play and your opponent, discover that pattern. That is a lot of problem for you. But Inter Milan, they still need to have faith in Inzaghi and probably try and bring in more players, attacking players, because we know their captain. What's his name again? Lautaro Martinez is not that player he used to be anymore. Though he's still a good player, but I think they need other players also coming in for them. So they need to start working on the team and probably looking changing tactics also. And pure Inter Milan to be a very painful.
And an attack is coming from the left flank of PSG. And the cross comes in. What happens? Oh no! That was sent wayward off. That was a chance to get the third goal. and Ousmane Dembele was there. How did he get there? Was right there looking for that goal, and the ball still with PSG. Inter will fight for it. Inter will save the ball, and Inter will try to send it to the goalkeeper. Somehow will send it in to the half, and it comes into the pocket of Pacho, the midfield, the central defender for PSG, and they're tossing the ball around again between Pacho, Vitinha, and now it comes to Dembele. And the ball comes to Hakimi. Hakimi will give it to Due, and Dembele will have the ball. He sends a longish one to Hakimi, which was deflected off by Di Marco. Di Marco will send it off. Di Marco just sent it off, and Inter will try to attack again from the right flank. The ball comes to the goalkeeper right now, and the goalkeeper will send it forward. The defender will move the ball, and Inter will try to build, but PSG almost got the ball. The ball goes into touch for a throw-in to Inter Milan in the half of Inter Milan. Okay, so Paul, you were speaking before.
Yeah, and back to the game, actually, you could see that Inter Milan are living very, very dangerously. If PSG can go ahead and score the third goal before Inter Milan get any goal in this game, I think they should just forget it. It's a case of how we say it in local palace, and so far, to me, with the way the game is so far, I don't think Inter Milan will be able to, get those two. Equalize this game. They might get a goal, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to score 2 goals in this game unless they change, the tactics how they've been playing. Because you could see that PSG have been, dominantly, and that's another shot there from Due there. But couldn't beat the goalkeeper there, and I think that will roll out for a goal kick there. And you look at it again, coming so close to getting the third goal again. They look even more hungry at that.
That was well placed. Just missed the goal by inches right there. So Inter Milan, well, they were able to win the league last season, the Scudetto, right? They were able to win the Scudetto last season, but that's about all they won last season. Although that's a big one for Inzaghi to win, and he also won the best coach or so in the Italian league Serie A last season, which is fantastic, and he has actually proven a lot this season by sending the very enthusiastic, very fabulous, surprising Barca team out by 7-6 at the semi-finals of the Champions League. So yes, I think I agree with you. Inzaghi should not be let go, otherwise they might suffer as a team. And but some players will have to be changed, definitely.
Yeah, of course.
Some aging players in the team that needs to be rested.
People like Mkhitaryan.
Mkhitaryan, I don't know what he's still doing at this top level. but excuse me, the young man, I would say the young man has been resilient over the years. At his age, he's possibly 35, 36 years of age.
I think he's close to that.
I think he's about 35 years.
He's been long in this game, though he's still a good player, but I think it's high time.
At this top level,
it's high time.
Commanding a starting jersey.
Yeah.
I think people like that should be actually given the bench, and let's promote some young legs, and let's have fresh legs. Is that a good advice for Inzaghi for next season?
Of course, they should be looking at bringing in fresh blood also into the
corner kick will come from PSG, and Dembele will send one in, a header from one of the defenders, and that is Kosciuszko. The attacker. Kosciuszko will nod the ball, but miss the goalpost by just a margin.
Wow.
Very close to getting the third goal. And I think the referee has brought the game to an end for halftime. The whistle has been blown. The referee says, let's take a break from here. You guys should go and regroup, and let's come back in 15 minutes to watch what's going to happen. Who's going home a villain, or who's going on the hero tonight? We'll find out after 90 minutes. But right now the players have to rest for 15 minutes. So as we're talking, what do you think Luis Enrique got right this season, especially with Mbappe not in the team, Neymar not in the team, Messi not in the team, and for the first time, they look really competitive for Champions League, and they look like they might get a treble because they've already secured the Ligue 1
And the French
and
league.
they've already finished, and I think they secured the
French
League Cup,
league.
the
Yeah.
French League Cup
The
too.
league Coupe de, is it Coupe de France? Yeah.
They already have that in the basket too. So they get the treble. And you know there's something about Luis Enrique, he wins trebles. So what did you think he got right with this team at the exit of Mbappe last season?
Well, I think it's down to the players because if you look at the only player that left them last season was what's his name now, Kylian Mbappe, that joined the Real Madrid, and the only addition they had was what's his name again now? Talking about
Fabian Ruiz.
Not Fabian Ruiz, the Georgian
Kvaratskhelia.
Kvaratskhelia, and he joined them late. He joined them in January. He didn't start at the beginning of the season. I think his signing was the turning point for.
But I think Champions League really picked momentum by that
that time,
because
and
before
they were
then,
able.
they were not doing well.
They were not doing well, and the other thing was that they were able to have a 11 player that always comes available when it comes to the Champions League, and you could see in the French league. No matter the players PSG throughout in the French league, they are almost 90% likely to win those games. So they can avoid to rest players and key players for Champions League, and that is what they've been doing, and it all went well for them. But at the same time, I think we won't take anything away from the manager himself. He's a very good manager. Talking about Luis Enrique, he knows what he wants, and you can see how he plays the ball. He doesn't just kick the ball, and be chasing it. They build up from the back, and I think that has worked, for them, going forward. You could see they play from the back, attack you left and right. They have wingers that are very, very quick, and you could see this PSG. They don't really have a number 9, though they have a number 9, but he doesn't play most of the time. Talking about Goncalo Ramos, they paid a lot of money for him, but he hardly plays. But
don't you think that's part of Luis Enrique's pattern of play? He usually doesn't rely so much on a top striker.
I don't think so, but I think it's because the striker himself is not up to where the standard he wants. But for what last season, I think he suffered a serious injury that ruled him out for a very long time. Then before he came back, he couldn't get into the team. And if you look at this PSG team, after losing Mbappe, nobody would have thought they would be able to go ahead and go
That's
into the
exactly
final.
what I thought.
The last time they were in the final, they had the likes of Neymar and Mbappe in the team, and they couldn't win it. Now with Neymar, Mbappe gone. The first season that Mbappe is not in the team, they are already in the final, and they are 45 minutes away from winning the Champions League now. And I think a lot has been going in their favor. Having the constant 11 players ready to do the job, and the manager's tactics has also worked for them.
Well. So we have a lot of praises for Luis Enrique. Should he win this one? Do you think he qualifies to be the best coach in the world for this season?
He's coaching a team that is in Europe top 5 league, the European top 5 league. PSG is among them, and looking at how he has dominated the league. In fact, he won the league with almost more than 20 points. The second person, he took more than 20 points, and you could see also how he has been playing the Champions League. Though, like we rightly stated earlier on, during the beginning of the season, the Champions League, it wasn't going well for them. I think in the group stage they lost about 2 or 3 matches, but they were able to make it through the playoff. But from the playoff, that's when they become another thing. Whipping teams left to right. Though even they were still losing some matches, but they scored their opponent. That is always been the best. But I think if PSG win the league, I don't see anything wrong, giving it to Luis Enrique, because I think he deserves it, from how PSG has been struggling in Europe and now becoming a dominant force under Luis Enrique. I think he deserves it.
How Luis Enrique just saved them and possibly gives them a medal, a trophy, an accolade, a much coveted Champions League that PSG in their whole history has tried. They have paid for. They have prayed. Al Khelafi, I think that's their manager. the
the owner.
the owner of the club, but I know he represents a group of people from
Yeah.
the Arabia. Al Khelafi has been so adamant on, let's get this Champions League. Let's get the Champions League. Now, if they get the Champions League, apart from Luis Enrique getting recognition or being nominated for top coach or best coach in FIFA this year, how bad the chances of Dembele becoming the Ballon d'Or winner for this year?
Yeah, I think it's in the ranking. The last time I checked, I think it's in the top 5. And getting the Champions League will definitely boost your his chances. It's not left to how they do voting also, but I think winning the Champions League definitely increases his chances of winning it. We know Dembele right from his days from Dortmund there, and we know how much Barcelona paid to get him, but at Barcelona everything didn't actually work. Though not that it was a flop at Barcelona, but it didn't work, the way, because Barcelona had other players, then they were still, I think Lionel Messi was still there, and there were some other players also. I think they brought him to replace, is it Neymar again? Just trying to remember.
Yes, it was to replace
Neymar. Yeah, but things didn't go as planned. I had to, move and to PSG. And we could look at PSG. I think this season they didn't actually pay a lot of money when it comes to transfer window, trying to get this same Champions League. Every season they usually, spend a lot, to make sure they get this Champions League, but it hasn't worked. But now this season that they didn't really spend a lot, letting one of their, probably their legend,
the highest paid player. In
fact, to me, it's their legend. Talking about
Mbappe,
and they let him go. In fact, he went for free.
Well, a little compensation here and there, but
so to be honest,
contract.
And what's his name now? Dembele had to step up for the team, and to me, he deserves to be given the Ballon d'Or, because we know most teams that eventually go ahead and win the Champions League final and winning the league. There's always a player there that go ahead and get the Ballon d'Or,
the FIFA the best, and the Ballon d'Or. As it is right now in the power rankings of the Ballon d'Or and FIFA the best, you have Dembele and followed closely by Lamine Yamal, and then followed closely by Rafinha in that order. And according to analysts, before this game, it was actually said that should PSG win this and Dembele plays a good part, he will edge out Lamine Yamal and Rafinha, and he will be in a pole position awaiting the journalists and the rest of the coaches, the voters, to support him. But he will be number 1 in the ranking by a mouse. And just like you said, I'm attesting to it, that a lot of analysts, a lot of journalists have already said that before. And as it looks, Dembele has made an assist today, and he has scored a goal.
Yeah, and we all know that the Ballon d'Or is actually organized out there in France, and I think he will get all the support. And if he's in the top 2, I think he will definitely get all the support.
Ballon d'Or is actually done by a number of French journalists and some journalists.
I think he will definitely get the support, since he's inside the top 2 there. And Dembele, I don't think anybody will be surprised if he's actually given the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, and the likelihood is, if you win the Ballon d'Or, you are likely going to be taken by FIFA as the best as well. Do you think Dembele can go on as well to be FIFA the best?
Of course, it's very, very possible, because if you look at the other people around him, I don't think they've done much than him in terms of even goals and assists.
Let's take a little diversion here. The Club World Cup is coming up next month, and it's going to happen in America, and it's going to involve some teams. PSG is there.
Yeah. And they will definitely be
Madrid is there.
They will definitely be the favorite there also.
And of course, Barcelona is not there. Neither is Liverpool. Neither is Arsenal. And that actually reduces the chances of Rafinha and Lamine Yamal. For them, the season has ended. For Dembele, the game is still on, and it might stand a very, very good chance, really. And in fact, I want to say congratulations in advance if things continue this way. He's already registered an assist and a goal in the final of a Champions League that they are leading by 2-0. Viewers, ladies and gentlemen, fans all over the world, you can put in a call through to us using the number on our screen. you can send in a text message on our YouTube page or Facebook page at Premier Sports Fan Center. Premier Sports Fan Center. And you can put in your comments. You can even call in. You can use the number you see on our screen and make a call. We'll take your call and take your comments. But if you can't get through, just send us the message. Let's see what's going on. Share with us your opinion of what we're talking about here. Inter PSG final 2024-2025 season for the European Champions League. The elitist, the most elite trophy in the world of club football. And I say that with all due respect to all other continental football tournaments, but this is the most elitist of them all. This is the most prestigious, and we have these two giants here. Paris Saint-Germain is facing Inter Milan in this cracking encounter. Paris Saint-Germain in the first half, we have seen what they have done. They have put a lot of pressure on their opponents. They have ensured that the opponent didn't have more than 36% of the ball, while they kept 38% of the ball. They kept 62% of the ball to themselves. I'm talking about PSG, and that's looking at the wonderful players in the midfield, the Vitinha, the Fabian Ruiz, the Nunez, and then the Mendes. We have Hakimi there, all of them in the midfield controlling the ball, and Dembele playing deep with them, making sure that Inter Milan didn't get the ball for more than 38% of the time. And then you also had the likes of Marquinhos, Pacho, and the rest of the player, and also Donnarumma doing his best in the goalpost to motivate his defenders. And they have kept this game a clean sheet in the first half. So for those who actually put something booking on goal for first half, I am very sorry. PSG has disappointed you. But if you book that PSG will have been ahead in the first half, I can assure you, you have all your money to take home. You should just go to church tomorrow, or go to mosque tomorrow, or go anywhere where you celebrate and give thanks already, because PSG has given you the lead. They have already got you your bet for the first half. For the second half, which will start very soon, we're expecting Inter to come on. Who do you think will surprise us? Can Inter come back? Put it in the comment section, or call us on the phone lines, or go to Facebook, Premier Sports Fan Center. Put your comments in there, or put it on the YouTube page, and let us see and read out your comments. We're going to read it out openly here, and we'll respond to what you're trying to pass to us. For our viewers and fans who have been regular, please do us the favor, call us, comment, like our page, and share as well. And that's it for the first half. The players are on break. While they're on break, Paulo, how do you think this season will run out? With Real Madrid not winning any trophy at the local level, at the European Championship continental level, and the Club World Cup, which they should have gone to defend, has been made a big trophy now, a big event of 16 clubs now. And it makes it more difficult for them. How would you think Perez and the rest of them, having spent so much on salaries and overhead, acquiring and going all the way out to buy Kylian Mbappe, to bring in superstars to the club, and right now I think they have already brought in Trent Arnold, and they are still looking at bringing in more players even before the club. How do you think the boardroom of Perez is going to be mopping their losses should they not get anything from the CWC coming up in America?
Yeah, you could see that Florentino Perez is not happy with how Madrid have performed this season, and the changes are beginning to take place. The manager has been let go. Talking about Carlo Ancelotti, and they've brought on the Spaniard Xabi Alonso, and they've announced the signing of the English right back also, and you could see that they want to make a change. and see if they can, get something. Probably get the FIFA Club World Cup, because you see them trying to. They didn't want to wait till
till the
June
window
31 before they get Trent Arnold. If they have waited to that, and they won't pay any, but they are ready to pay Liverpool 10 million to make sure that he joins them, and because they want to win it. And
the Club World Cup.
Yeah.
So that means it's so important for them.
Yeah, but I know you said earlier on that Madrid didn't win anything, but they actually won something at the beginning of the season. They won the Super Cup, defeating Atalanta.
Okay, the European Super Cup.
Yeah, that was it.
Right.
Yeah, so that was the only thing. But I don't think that's not enough for a team like Real Madrid. But they need to start building on now, and they had a lot of players went out through injury. They had issue with their defense, and and now they are losing one of the best players that they have played the beautiful game. Talking about the football, talking about Luka Modric, and they will be looking to find a replacement also for him. To me, they've not even replaced Toni Kroos properly, and now you are having what's his name again, Modric going. So it's still going to be a very long season, but we know Madrid, Real Madrid, they are a team that likes winning. When they don't win, they are not always happy, and we've seen that with the owner, Florentino Perez.
And you could see the reaction. The team that does not accommodate losing. They can't bear it. They are the biggest club in Europe. They're the biggest in terms of trophies, in terms of Champions League, in terms of revenue generation. They are the biggest in terms of net worth in Europe. I think they are touted to have a net worth of close to $8 billion, net worth of close to $8 billion, followed by Man United with a net worth of $6.5 billion, then Barcelona with $6 billion US dollars. So that shows you the gap Madrid has, and they're a very proud club, and they have a long history of domination or dominance in Europe. And I agree with you. Yes, Perez and the rest of them are not going to rest until they get their mojo back. You remember Madrid between 2002 and 2014, 2014 or 16, they didn't win the Champions League. And they tried buying players. They brought in Cristiano Ronaldo. They brought in Kaká. They brought in strong players, very great players in that era. They let go some of their Gonzalez left along the way. Got in Benzema. I remember Karim Benzema was a very huge buy along with Cristiano Ronaldo. And even after that, for 6 seasons after that, they still didn't lift the Champions League. And they only won the La Liga once in that period.
Yeah, and then they were trying, the Galacticos then were, they were facing them out, bringing in new set of players. You talk about, they brought in Ronaldo, Benzema, and co, including Gareth Bale. And when everything clicked, we saw how they won the Champions League back to back. I don't think there was a time they
got it back to
back, and things were going. Even when some of those players were still now leaving, they were still winning it. Even without Ronaldo, once Ronaldo left, I think they won it back to back again. Yeah. And they are always in the mix. I can't remember going in the last maybe 10 seasons now. Real Madrid not playing Champions League and not winning it at least 2 or 3 times under 4 seasons.
But within that 2002 and 2014,
they didn't actually. They were very poor, and
they weren't poor.
I'm not talking about poor. What I'm saying is poor in performance, despite the and in expectation, despite the kind of players they had then. They had in fact probably the legend of the games. Talking about they had the likes of Raúl, Zidane, mention it, Guti, Kaká. They brought in Kaká,
Ronaldo,
Ronaldo, De Lima and co. But they couldn't get it. I could remember the 2006 when they played Arsenal. With all those players, but they couldn't make it, and Arsenal knocked them out. I think in the quarter-final, then it was a very, very disappointing loss for them. And one thing going for Real Madrid again, once the particular owner, Florentino Perez, is in the majority shareholder, he always bring in the money. They buy those big names, and it has worked for them. So let's see if they will be able to bring in those big names again and see if it is going to work for them.
Of course, they're already bringing in the big names. So you can see the likes of Trent Arnold already with a Modric replacement, a solid replacement for Modric, and possibly get somebody to replace Toni Kroos, because Tchouaméni, I don't think Tchouaméni is up to it. For Toni Kroos, they haven't found a Toni Kroos in that place. Valverde is a good midfielder, but he still needs something a little bit, to get to Kroos level. And with Modric, fading out, he's been fading out because most of the seasons he played from the bench. It was only on 1 or 2 occasions that he got to play the game. So let's come back to this game now. PSG is playing against Inter Milan, and Kvaratskhelia is advancing towards the 18. A cross comes in from Fabian Ruiz. Kvaratskhelia has a chance. He bundles it. Oh no, that was a great chance from Kvaratskhelia, and he just threw it away. He could have just got the 3rd goal. That would have been, the last nailing in the coffin of Inter Milan tonight, because just like you said, if they got the 3rd goal before Inter got one, you can as well say Otilo now.
Yeah, and you could see, like I said it earlier on, PSG always look like a team that wants to score. Whenever they go forward, you see they look very, very dangerous. And to me, I think with what I've seen in the first 50 minutes of this game so far now, I think PSG are good for the trophy. I don't see Inter Milan, coming back and winning this game. But though in football they say anything can happen, but with the way PSG are playing them on the counter, because they know that Inter Milan will definitely want to push forward, players forward, because they are 2 goals down. They need to go, and so you could see them try to soak up the pressure now and try to eat them on counter. We see that with that
PSG will go again. Fabian Ruiz has a chance. He gives it to Dembele. Will take a shot. A cut ball just went begging for a goal kick to Inter Milan. That could have been the 3rd goal again.
Yeah, if care is not taken, they will suffer more embarrassment than the one they've suffered now, and it will be a very, very long day for them if they consider another goal again. Now it's even a long day for them.
I wonder where they're getting that from, because as far as this half is concerned, this half, they have taken as many shots. In fact, a lot more improved shots at goal. 8 shots at goal against Inter Milan's 2 shots at goal, and 2 shots at goal, and 2 block shots against against Inter Milan. Shots from Inter Milan. The goalkeeper has made how many saves already? The goalkeeper for Inter had made 3 saves. Sommer has made 3 saves, while Donnarumma is yet to make 1 save. And Inter Milan has taken Donnarumma is yet to make 1 save. And Inter Milan has taken 8 goal kicks against 3 for PSG. And fouls committed, 8 fouls for PSG, or 8 fouls against PSG versus 2 against Inter Milan. Offside just 1 on Inter Milan side. And the game is on the 54th minute right now. And Inter Milan just made a change in their formation. They just replaced one of their players. Pavard just left the field. And let's just find the name of the replacement right away.
I think Bisek or Bisek, coming in for Pavard there.
Okay, Bisek just came in, and right now we have a problem here.
Also with Demarco, also being withdrawn for Zelensky now? Zelensky now.
Zelensky coming in for Demarco, but this is not the president of Ukraine. This is another Zelensky. He might be from Ukraine, but he's not the president of Ukraine.
I said it earlier. I was surprised even Inter Milan didn't make any changes at halftime. I was expecting them to make a change, because you need to change how you've been playing, and you could register any shot on target in this game. And
Inter has a chance, deflected, was blocked. They had a corner kick taken. Donnarumma will punch the corner kick, and it came to an Inter player who will take a direct shot. But that was blocked off, and it went to safety for PSG. PSG will play police ball into the midfield, and the ball will come to Due right now, who sends a longish one to Dembele, but it's been intercepted by the central defender for Inter Milan, who will send a pass into the midfield. The ball comes back to PSG, and a tussle will give the ball away to Inter Milan. Inter is attacking right now in the dangerous position against PSG. Inter will have a chance to take a shot, deflected, and shot the ball, taken out brutally, and there will be an offense against the Inter player who gets him right here. Gets a yellow card in that tackle. The tackle was taken by the defender, Fabian Ruiz of PSG, and a very bad tackle.
Yeah, that was a Bastoni there. Yeah,
Bastoni came from behind. Oh, Zaleski, really.
Zaleski, right.
Newcomer,
Yeah.
Zaleski just got himself booked so early on his return. I should get another one. He leaves the field. Game time is now 56 minutes into the game, and we can see Fabian Ruiz actually mopping and squeezing his face from agony of the pain. Is limping away from the sport. Is back on his feet right now. Let's just hope it continues without any issues. Donnarumma is standing on the ball. Donnarumma wants to take a foul now. He takes a longish one towards the left wing of PSG, and receiving that ball was also Ruiz was there to take it again, but the contest was won by the Inter defender, who sends it into touch for a throw-in. And right now, PSG will attack from the midfield. Fabian Ruiz will send the ball to Vitinha. Vitinha will send it back to Marquinhos in the center. Marquinhos will send a longish one down to Do Hakimi. Hakimi will give the ball to Dembele again. Dembele is just all over the midfield.
yeah, and he has been, he has dropped into the midfield there to help the team there.
And a foul has been committed by PSG. Inter Milan will have a chance to restart this game from just around the midfield. And the referee will go to the sideline and warn the bench of Inter Milan. I think he's particularly giving a word to Inzaghi, and he brings out a card for him as well. A yellow card for Inzaghi here. And I think it was for dissent on the referees, and Inzaghi has a yellow card. There's another one too. He might just leave the field. We can see frustration setting in here, just as predicted. Is there any other thing Inzaghi can do here to make things better for himself and his crew?
Well, I think he just only needs to make sure the embarrassment don't, continue further by making sure, try and organize his player not to concede any goals anymore. Because with the way they are playing, I think he included in this game. Even this, he has made double substitution, but it has not really worked for them. We know how PSG, Inter Milan got to the final. After that 120 minute of football played against Barcelona and at San Siro, where they eventually got the winning, and the winning goal that was in the injury time, extra time of additional time. And I think to me it's all over for them. They just need to more goals in this game.
The game is almost at the hour mark. This is the 59th minute of the game. In another minute we'll get to the hour mark, and the goal line is still PSG 2, Inter Milan, International Milan, the Milan 0, or yet to score. Paris Saint-Germain seem to be cruising away with it. The stadium is packed to capacity. What's the capacity of the stadium? It's so filled up to capacity, and you can see the excitement, you can hear the noise. A lot of souls, especially people from France right now. PSG supporters are all over the place, singing and drumming, all kinds of drums, that dressed or not dressed. They're just making sure that they excite the players to keep the goal margin the way it is, because they will be happy to have Alliance and Erna donate this trophy to them. And the ball comes to the penalty area of PSG. And don't just one, but oh no. Bissek could not get to the ball before Donnarumma. Donnarumma picked the ball, and then the attacker for Inter Milan, Bissek, is on the floor, being attended to by the other players and the referee right now. So if you're just joining us, this is Premier Sports Fan Center. We are on YouTube, we are on Facebook, and as this is a match related live where we're having a talk show of the football match going on, a live talk along of this match going on, the Champions League final, European Champions League between PSG and Inter Milan, 2025 edition. The game is ongoing, and you can actually join us by putting on your comment on our comment section. So I have a few comments here on our page, and they're from Masharita. Masharita is saying extra time game for sure. I think he hasn't been watching the game before he said that. That was a very close opportunity. Just a bit deflected for corner kick.
Wow.
Was just deflected for a corner kick. That was a very close one. A shot from Hakimi in a dangerous position, deflected to corner for a corner kick to PSG. And you could see the anguish on Luis Enrique. It was so painful. And standing on the ball will be no other but no. He's standing in the left position. It takes a short one down to the midfield. Rasmus Kelly would take a cross into the 18, but it was just too high for Vitinha and the rest of them, and they couldn't put their head to it. So the game line still remains 2-0 in favor of PSG and against Inter Milan. Masharita is still writing here. He said, host, your network is disconnecting. Sorry about that. We have reconnected. Hope you are enjoying the show right now. Paul Alikwe is saying PSG all the way. Hey, PSG all the way. Paul, do you think, or should I put it this way, when did you become a fan of PSG? Or are you just supporting them now because they are in the comment section? Or you can call the telephone and share your opinion with us. And for you, join us in having the fun. Paulo, over to you.
Yeah, and I think PSG are, like I said earlier, are good for the trophy, and they will become the second, French team to have won the Champions League in the when it comes to French team winning Champions League. And before this final, PSG have and before this final, PSG have totally dominated the.
There's a chance to get a double. And it is a goal. PSG gets the treble of goals. And Doe gets his double. He gets his brace.
Wow.
Oh, the young man is excited. He takes off his shirt. He doesn't care about the yellow card that will follow. He doesn't care about the discipline from the referee. All he cares about is the trophy.
Yeah.
PSG is taking the trophy back to Paris tonight.
Yeah, 2 goals and assists for Doué. 19 years old. He's the youngest player to have scored in the final of the Champions League.
Wow, 19 years of age.
Yeah, 19 years of age. And I think this will teach a lot of things, a lot of lessons about, having your best player, and things are not working, and you insist on keeping that player. But look at Paris Saint-Germain. They had to let Mbappe go, and look at the player. But look at Paris Saint-Germain. They had to let Mbappe go, and look at the new boy in town now. Doué is doing wonderfully well for himself, and I won't be surprised if he even win the what they call it now, the Golden Boy, because he's still the Golden Boy. Now look at him.
I think he's in a pole position
to win it now.
Just before this match, I think he was
there, and now he has look at.
What's his name? The Barcelona defender now.
Yeah,
Kubasi.
But
I think Doué will overtake him.
Yeah, and look at, he has taken this final by storm, and are winning it. It's
2
all
goals.
over. Inter Milan just needs to avoid the embarrassment by making sure you don't concede, because they don't look like a team that wants to score to me. And I think, to be honest, Inzaghi, has gotten everything wrong today. I'm not saying he's a bad manager, but I think everything has gone wrong for him. You just need to make sure they don't concede more, because I can't remember the last time I see a team scoring 3 goals in the Champions League final. It's been long, and the other team not responding at all. This game has actually been a one-way traffic for me, and you can see they are winning it in style and in complete dominance in this game.
Wow, this is fantastic, and I'm so glad for the young man who is also putting his name on the record sheet and setting precedences for those that will follow. Just before this final, the noise was all about Lamine Yamal, 17-year-old doing so much, doing this and that. And then in the final, just out of nowhere, the way will get an opportunity given by Luis Enrique, and that should be a penalty call. Or is it a goal kick?
It's a goal kick, yeah.
Okay, there was an infringement. There was a contact. A minor contact with an Inter Milan striker. I think that was Lautaro Martinez running at the ball. But I think it was just a nip. Maybe VR will have to look at that. Due gets a yellow card for taking off his shirt after the goal. But he doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
Because this is the 66th minute, just less than 30 minutes to the end of this game. And it looks like they have both hands on the trophy.
Yeah, they have not just and they have all their body wrapped on the trophy already. And you can see the goal scorer is
Beautiful
about to
first
be
goal
withdrawn
from
now.
the way.
I think this was the first goal he scored. There was a deflection on that one, but that was a neat goal, and you could see from the second goal also. And I think PSG are done. They're bringing in another dangerous player. Talking about Bakola to replace.
I would have expected Bakola to be the starter over Doué, but Luis Enrique played a tricky one here. I think he took a gamble here.
No. This is how they've been playing. Since the arrival of Kvaratskhelia. It was Kvaratskhelia that actually
displaced Bakola.
Bakola, and I think Doué is better than Bakola, because Bakola misses a lot of chances. He's also very skillful, very good, but I think Doué also gives you more going forward than Bakola. So. Let's see if Bakola will add insult to the injury that they've already suffered. Talking about Inter Milan.
And talking about Bakola, Bakola I find as a very sneaky player. He goes behind the defense line. He can actually crawl behind, create wonderful assists, or even get one in himself. He's so swift and he's so cunning. I actually think he's either going to score a goal or place an assist tonight.
Yeah, with the way Inter Milan are playing, it still looks to me. It looks like if there's going to be another goal now, again, because we've seen once they go forward, they are likely to get the goal, and I won't be surprised if he also, Bakola coming in to add to the goals. I won't be surprised at all.
So we won't be surprised. You can see the anguish on the Italian supporters. They are knocking their faces, some are rubbing their glasses. I just hope they don't get to rub these glasses broken. Let's hope that this ends in a way for them where they won't cause fights and catastrophes in Germany. Arena, the game is on the 69th minute, almost at the 70th minute mark. And the game score line looks in favor of PSG. Paris Saint-Germain from France, from Paris particularly, is leading this by 3-0. Unbelievable, unexpected by a lot of people. But I can tell you the real goal line right now, real time, shows 3 goals to PSG and 0 to Inter Milan.
Yeah,
this is the great Inter Milan.
Yeah, I don't think it's not expected that.
Inter Milan.
Yeah, I don't think it's not expected that PSG will win. But what is not expected is how PSG dominated them completely, and the goal margin. Like I said, I can't remember in the last 5 seasons a team completely winning the Champions League in the first 10 minutes of the game. Just running away with the trophy. Because if you look at how PSG played in that first 10 minutes of the opening game of this game, you definitely agree with me that they will run away with the trophy, and that is what they've done. And for Inter Milan, you could see their fans there in pains. Could there be another goal? Ooh. Bakola almost making it 4 there, but he couldn't convert that one there. And what's his name again? As I was saying earlier on, Inter Milan fans, you could see them not happy at all, and because 2 years ago they are in this position also, where they lost the final to Inter Milan, and 2 years again they are back again losing, and this time around, more embarrassing, losing 3-0 to a team that have never won the Champions League before, and it's embarrassing for them. So I think Inter Milan, they need to go back and see how what gone wrong for what's not working, and how can you be in the. It's also an encouragement to the final, but it will be a very painful 2 final in the space of 3 seasons, and
So it's actually going to be painful. It's already been painful as it is right now. It is very painful. They are really, really sad. This is not a day you want to come to Germany paying so much on train fare or coming by air and then getting this kind of shock treatment. And just while we're doing this, Nigeria just won the Unity Cup in England and at the Brentford Stadium, and that was such a tense match. That was such a challenging, very physical match. You know, the Jamaicans were all over the place, challenging physically, and you could see the game ending 2-goal apiece and then a penalty and shoot. How was your own position of that game?
Yeah, actually, I saw the game. I watched the game, and both teams actually gave their best, and Nigeria played actually well. But the problem I had with the Nigeria is that the kind of goals we conceded, it was very too easy. The way the ball, the goals we conceded. The defense, not marking those players that scored for Jamaica. Talking about Dixon and Ruse, they were just free to tap in those goals. But having said that, I think we got that was the final actually, the Unity Cup final, and the match should live up to expectation. Not like what we are witnessing here, where one team is running away with the trophy, but the match live up to expectation. Could this be another goal for Inter PSG?
That's another goal for PSG.
Wow.
Goal number 4 for PSG,
Kvaratskhelia.
and that was Carasquela, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I think this should be the worst final.
PSG's year. This is for this Inter to get here. Barca's defense was terrible, conceding goals every now and again, and even at the very last minute, they conceded that last injury time goal, which was totally unpardonable. Otherwise, I don't think Inter was never given a chance to be here, and you can see that from the result. 4 goals already at the 73rd minute. Was your expectation this close?
No. I said earlier on I was, only rooting for Inter Milan because of how they've suffered well this season. But in terms of play, because it has always been when they who won between Arsenal and PSG might likely win the Champions League. But I wasn't expecting Inter Milan PSG to dominate them completely like that. I think to me this should be one of the worst final opponents when it comes to final, because Inter Milan didn't live up to, and some will look at the scholar and be looking at they will say Inter Milan they are not a good team. No, they are a good team, but it's just that today in fact
They disappointed a
they
lot.
really they didn't live up to expectation at all. At least give
4 goals to 0.
4 goals to 0, and I said it not quite long again that if there's a goal that is coming, it might likely be PSG, and despite this 4-0 now, I still think if there's another goal, it might still be PSG.